Hello, hello, hello. This is HGT 500 slash Track 98 slash Louise Wonderwise slash Hilo. And in this video, we're going to be talking a little bit about the state of fire, Primal, now that Zeta Grand has been released. This is kind of like a pre-Guild War update because unless Dragon comes out tomorrow and she's also fire, I think, this is pretty much like, well, I guess Alanon too, but Alanon's really just going to be like a character. He's not going to really affect grids and stuff, so, at least I don't think. So, I just kind of want to talk about some of this stuff. It probably, I always say it's not going to be too long, but, it probably won't be too long. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the spear. Like, we know the spear has come out, and a lot of people are asking, should you do 2 or 3? Personally, I have 3, as you can see. I think you can probably just do 2. I'm gonna be real. I think you could even do 1. Honestly, I've seen some grids out there, especially if you've been farming like Mugen stuff, that you can get away with just 1. But I think if you're like invested in Agni, but you're not like an Omega Whale, especially because like there's a whole bunch of stuff coming next banner, I think holding for 2 right now is okay. Unless you're trying to do like top 2k Guild War. But if you're just trying to like mash a little bit or do like some full auto, just do 2. Just get like the 3rd one on Anniversary if you're like super invested in Agni. The 3rd one is good. It is an upgrade over the 2nd in some scenarios, but it's not like a need, in my opinion. The main reason why you even really want 3 is when you go like single-sided like this. So pretty much you get access to Bubs, you get access to like Yatima, you get access to Lucifer, Bahamut, and maybe the 000 summon that comes out tomorrow for single-sided. So I think, like I said, I think 2 is fine. I think running double Agni is kind of fine. So let's kind of talk about the grids a bit. So I have like this basic grid up here with 3. You can also swap out like this Ixaba for like another Percival sword. You could do that. One thing I would say, if you do use 3, is you may want to consider an Ultima Spear. I actually broke down my katana and I'm using an Ultima Spear now because you can fulfill that requirement of the 4 weapon requirement with this instead of axe. Because the thing about it is, axe kind of matters a little less now because of this thing. Actually, this weapon is cheeking busted, dude. This thing is busted. Like it's so good as a main hand, and when you pair it with a job like Mana Diver, and then Mana Diver has Ouroboros, it's just like, oh my god, this weapon's really cheeking good. So like this weapon is kind of like a mainstay for fire main hand right now, especially with this weapon being here, because now you're less inclined to want to use the standard Echo Opus to just like do the berserker like loop thing, because now you can actually like full auto with Mana Diver just like everybody else with this thing. So like this dagger plus these spears is like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So yeah, if you go with 3, you may want to consider this. If you have 2, I think you can still probably just get by with an axe. But yeah, if you have 3, I would think about an Ultimate Spear if you have an extra slot. They really need to give us another core. Percival swords. I know a lot of people are still thinking about like, should I bar the 3rd one? Should I just use 2? I think Percival swords are kind of in the same spot as the spear. Now granted, if your Primal is not as buffed out, then obviously you're gonna have to bar more stuff to buff it out. But like, if you considering like let's say you have like an Ixaba, two Pain and Sufferings, 2 of these spears, and then like 2 Percival swords, and then you're wondering like, should I bar the 3rd Percival sword? Maybe. I don't think it, like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where it's just like, because like I said, this grid is stacked. Like if you take it, literally if you take this and just take out this 3rd spear, right? Like with what I have right now, it's like I mean, you could swap the Ultima back to Axe, so then you'd immediately fill out your requirements, but then you just kind of have like an extra slot here, where you could put just one extra Percival sword, or an Exaba, or something like that. Like, the grid is kind of tight, but it feels tight in like a good way, I guess. Where it's like, it doesn't feel like you need a ton of stuff, and you can kind of just do whatever you want, to be honest. Um, but yeah, so I think Percival Sword, it's kind of based on what you have. I will say that I have been using some grids, especially in extra stuff, like extra grids, and I'll actually show you one of those. One of these extra grids that I have right here, like this one is a Siete Filato that I was working with my crew today, and like this one, you see I have 3 spears and uh three three Percival weapons, right? But like you could easily, let's say you drop a spear right here, you could easily drop a spear, swap this Ultima to Axe, and then just throw in like an Exaba right here instead, if you don't have a third one of these. And then vice versa, let's say you have 3 of these, you could just like throw an Exaba in here. You know what I'm saying? So like these 2 weapons are kind of interchangeable. They're both really good and you can use them together, but they're kind of interchangeable. So like depending on where your primal is, you can kind of use like either or of these. So I think they're still good. And if you really like fire, I would have both. But if you're just kind of like investing a little bit into primal just for Guild War, I would say go as minimalist as possible, and it'll probably still work. That's my advice, I guess. What else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about Zeta herself. Zeta is sheeking good. Zeta is good. She's really good. This buff is really good. This buff combined with this charge bar thing is really good because she like always stays at charge bar. Her Ogi, if she ever gets to it, does a ton of cheeking damage. But she usually doesn't get to it, which is fine because she gets so many buffs from this. Then she gets buff here, and for charge bar is over 100%. Then she gets this when people triple attack, and you have people like freaking you have people like Percival or Ragazzo. Ragazzo is actually a really good one because Ragazzo can get you these stacks really fast because he has just guaranteed triple attacks for 3 turns and he double strikes, or sorry, for 2 turns and he double strikes. And then you throw in Percival's S3 with it too, and it's bonkers. The synergy there is really good. This character is really good. Also, I'm gonna swap to the wiki real quick, so flashbang. This thing, I couldn't see it in game, but this thing removes a debuff from the caster. This could be really good for when Alanon comes out, because if he keeps his shortage, which I think the way it was described, he's going to keep his shortage, but then you can just take that off with this, right? And then she can continue doing her charge bar thing. So I think they're still going to work really well together. It's just going to be like a team like this right here, and then Ragazzo dies in 2 turns, and instead of Frox, you just bring in Alanon. It's gonna be busted. It's gonna be real good. It's gonna be real good. Fire is looking real nice right now, and it's only a matter of time until people start coming out with the bar setups too. Whew. Sheesh. The one thing that Fire does kind of still lack in is like the survivability. I think Noah helped a bit there, but we'll have to see on Fall high level how it does there. But yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk about Fire a bit. I don't think I really have much else to say. I just kind of wanted to talk about it because I am an Earth, Fire, and Light person predominantly. I'm kind of trying to get into Dark, but those are kind of my 3. So I was ready for Zeta, and I just like Zeta as a character a lot too. So my biases aside, but yeah. Fire's pretty good. And it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a pretty fun Guild War actually. But yeah, I think that's all I really had to say. Again, if you're on the fence about these, especially with the banner coming tomorrow, if you already have 2, if you already have 1 and you're not like a super Agni Lord, just chill. Honestly, the biggest pickup is just getting Zeta. Just get Zeta. Once you get Zeta, you can dip. You can dip. Honestly, you can dip unless you're like trying to go for top 2K or you're super invested in Primal. Just get Zeta and dip because you got to get that 000 summon. And you got to get Uriel because Earth is coming back, baby. Earth is coming back. Anyway, I think that's all I got. Just a short video, hopefully. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm definitely talking about Uriel, by the way. So just get ready for that one, boys. All right, bye-bye. Y'all already know what time it is. It's dinner time. Let's just get into it. Anyway, so the other thing I thought about, in the case for 3 spears, not now, but in the case for 3 spears in general, going forward, we have gotten announced, if I can load this up, we have gotten announced that these dudes are gonna get an upgrade come March. These dudes and the Magna dudes are gonna get an upgrade. I am betting, especially because they didn't, I don't think they talked about it with Fest, but they talked about it before. But we know that there are overcap changes coming, where in your grid, if you go in here, they talked about how, like, if you're hitting cap, they're gonna give us some type of benefit for going over the cap. And it's taking so long at this point that they may be doing it for more than just normal attack, damage cap, like normal damage cap, stuff like that. Just like the normal stuff that you would think about, because we have stuff like this bonus fire damage. We have stuff like amp, Optimus, fire Optimus, stuff like that. So that cap could go higher. This bonus damage could go higher, and with a bigger buffed Agni, I don't have Agni right here. With a bigger buffed Agni, this could become more potent. But again, that is something to think about for anniversary. Right now, get your 000 summon. Get Zeta and get your 000 summon. But just as an aside and just something to think about for the future, this 3 could be much more impactful in the future once those primals come in. So just be aware of that. That's something else I wanted to add on. But again, like I've said multiple times now, just get, bare minimum spears, just get Zeta, and then focus on the next banner, because you want to get that summon. You really want to get that summon. So yeah, I think that's all I have for real this time. Yeah, just something to think about for the future. All right, bye. Holy, is this the first ever double addendum? Okay, I was gonna make a comment about this, but it got a little bit more complex than just a comment, and I didn't want to type all that. So another thing I wanted to point out, too, for people that are on the fence about like barring Percival stuff, like barring Percival weapons, and like barring or getting more Zeta copies. Another thing I've seen too, I completely forgot about this weapon because I'm so busy with the other two, but Reinhardt's Arfist, because this weapon has Seeking crit on it. It has small crit on it. And then, so like, if you only go with 2 of these, right, you can also pair it up with Reinhardt's Arfist, and he has big crit. And if you're going with 2 of these, you're probably going double Agni, right? So you can also you can get, over here, you can get 100% crit off this, like on a normal grid. And then like here, you can have this Percival weapon, or let's say you wanted to use like another Ultima, you could also do, you could throw in a Katana, you could throw in an Exaba here too. Heck, that's even better, even with the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I mean when I say like, these grids are really flexible. Like they're tight, but they're tight in a good way, because there's a lot of different stuff you can do, especially if you've already been invested in Agni. I know a lot of people that have been invested in Agni already had like 2-3 Reinhardt's Arfists from like last Guild War, because that's me. So it's like, you just have these weapons available, and they work with the Zeta Spear too. You can also use the Attack Awaken Mugen swords. Those could go. Those have crit too. You can use those, and that Attack Awakening is really freaking good. Some people have Benedia. Rackham's gun. You can use that. That has crit on it and has damage cap too. You could throw that in somewhere too. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you just have like a lot of, there's a lot of like, pretty much all of, well, not all of them. Mugen's harp is kind of trash, and so is Shiva's bow. But most of the grand weapons that you've seen in the past, can be like intermingled with Zeta spear to make it so that you can use like lesser amounts of the spear and lesser amounts of Percival weapon. So that's what I mean when I say like, if you're super invested in Agni, I would of course get everything. You may want to wait until anniversary still to get everything, but of course get everything. But if you're just trying to get something to full auto for Guild War, you can mix and match like a lot of different stuff. Obviously, you want to invest in higher priority stuff. You don't want to just like, oh, I have, one PNS and two Reinhardt's Orphis. I'm gonna just borrow these two Reinhardt's Orphis. Like, you don't want to do that. But obviously have a priority system. But what I'm saying is, there is a lot of mix and matching you can do in Fire Primal right now, which is cool. It's really cool. So don't be too bummed if you can't get 3 Zeta Spears or even 2 Zeta Spears, because you can make it work without it. You can make it work without it. So, okay, double addendum done. It always happens because I always watch my videos back before I upload them to make sure that I don't need to edit anything. So I listen to myself, and when I listen to myself talk, I'm like, oh snap, I should have mentioned that. So then I come back, and that's the reason why I always have an addendum. But this is the first double addendum. Anyway, all right, you guys don't care anyway. All right, good luck on your rolls, by the way, because Ariel, dude, Ariel, Earth Gang, this is your last chance. Join up before you become a bandwagoner. Come on and join Earth Gang. All right, I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.